fans, the game is over. Welcome to the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. Bet above the rest. Only at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Milwaukee. After the last pitch, you've made the switch for 21 seasons. We'll hear from the manager, the players, and the highlights from the game. It's time to talk about the game and the team with Tim Allen and Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is a final from American Family Field, and it feels good. A 2-1 Brewers victory as the losing streak is over. Welcome in, everybody. Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show here on, locally on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM. We'll hit the network stations here in just a couple of minutes. But way more than a feel-good win, 2-1. There's Tommy Wortz, Tim Allen, and back into the win column. And more importantly, you have a chance to win this series with a victory tomorrow. That is key in this.
Wow, I cannot believe they won that game. I mean, those are ones that you feel like you should have won, right? If you're a Toronto fan, you feel like we had no business winning. If you're a Brewers fan, and it kind of makes up for one or two of those games in that 6-game stretch, right? So baseball just balancing itself out there, and it wasn't pretty. And who cares about launch angle, Tim? I mean, you could just drive the ball right into the dirt, and that's how you win baseball games in Milwaukee sometimes.
Did they forget how to square up a baseball? Just put a barrel on it somewhere. Someone find a gap somewhere.
What the Brewers use reverse torpedo bats. Whatever it is, it's a suppressor in the middle of their baseball bat. It feels like
we call it fluffle up a duffer on the infield.
Yeah,
fluffle up a duffer. Say that 10 times fast.
Fluffle up a dupper. Wasn't bad. Dupper. Did I say dupper? Duffer.
Duffer, fluffle up a
no. Now you're
duffer.
You said it wrong the first time. That's why you set me.
Fluffle up a duffer.
Fluffle up a duffer.
There you go.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's like Snuffleumpagus.
Yeah, something like that.
Same deal.
A 2-run bottom of the 8th inning got it done. RBIs from William Contreras and Bryce Terang, and they get it done. And do we have a new closer in town? I think so. Although Pat Murphy's not going to admit that. A lot of people have wanted this for a year plus now, that it was going to be Uribe at some point. And I agreed with that. And I think most Brewer fans would agree with that ultimately it's going to be Uribe. He just has the makeup for it. But let's not discount the talents that McGill has. And really, he's been on a bad roll here. 3 of his 6 outings have been pretty bad. But we're gonna get your reaction here on a number of things. Number one, this game was huge. I think it's the biggest win of the year.
There's a couple of texts coming in here on the Nicolay Law Talking text line 414-677-1250. If you're leaving the game, give us a call. We're going to join some network coverage in just about 10 minutes or so here on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. Big Dog Chase, go Brewers. I need to go to bed. But have a good night. Nice hit, Sal. Good job getting it done, Abner. He should be the closer for the rest of the year. However, that was ruled an error on the Sal Frelick hit. So I'm sorry, Chase. You went to bed and it was a hit, but it was an error when you wake up. Contreras will be behind the plate tomorrow with Sproat pitching from the 9-2-0. From the 2-6-2. What a game. Getting out of the stadium was a nightmare, though. Let's fluffing go.
Okay, there you go. Fluffle it up tonight.
Yeah.
Here on the Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250. 6-game losing streak in the books. We will get to our game recap in a few minutes. Stick around for that. We'll get to Pat Murphy. We'll also get to Pat Murphy both last night and today, which I really am interested in Brewers fans' perspective on this. And he really stepped out. I'm talking about Murph. Really stepped out and did not like the boos last night at American Family Field when it came to Trevor McGill's performance. He did not like that at all. And basically called the fans out. He called Brewers fans out.
Yes, he did.
We're going to get all different angles of this. I've been thinking about this throughout the day today. There's a bunch of different angles on this, and I don't know if I'm going to take a hardline stance on this or have, what a lot of people would consider a hot take or a hard take on this. You can define that once I give my thoughts on this, because I do feel the need to go to bat for Brewers fans at times. And I don't want to tell anybody how to handle their emotions when it comes to being a Brewers fan. That's not where I'm at. But I think we have a finger on the pulse of Brewer fans, maybe a little bit more than a lot of other folks.
Sure.
Now, I've been doing this show. We've been Brewers fans. I'll just speak on this behalf. I've been a Brewer fan for how many years? Over 50 years. Pat Murphy has been here since 2015. And I'm not here to badmouth Murph, but we'll get into this in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the main gist of this is whether it's at American Family Field to see your favorite team, the Brewers, or whether it's at Lambeau Field to see your favorite team, the Packers, do you reserve the right to boo when you're disappointed? I mean, Tommy, that's what it comes down to.
Tim, I also think that it was a little bit of booing Trevor McGill. It was a little bit of booing the Brewers. Like, right. As directed as it may have seemed at Trevor McGill, you are in the middle of, at the time, losing 5 in a row. Your offense can't get anything going. Your all-star reliever staff looks nothing like it has or is on paper. And this is just Trevor McGill maybe being the exclamation point of bad over the last 6 games.
And I would agree with you. I don't think it was McGill collectively. I don't think it was the Brewers collectively. I think it was a mixture of both. I agree. And we'll get into that. I want to just, especially on the text line, because then you don't have to go on record and get your voice out there. Do you think you have the right to reserve that right to boo at a Brewers game?
I think that booing is about the most respectful way to voice displeasure at a ball game. Also, okay. Tim, like, would you rather them scream expletives in front of children and, direct comments at players? Booing is so harmless. Trevor McGill's making 7 figures this year to handle the boos. I mean, I get it. He's not having a great year and he would love to be able to not get booed. I understand why it feels bad, but these are also the fans paying your salary here, and they absolutely can boo, and that's maybe one of the most respectful things they can do if they want to say how unhappy they are with the product.
We'll repeat a lot of this coming up once we welcome in our network stations throughout the state of Wisconsin. I know there's been a lot of weather stuff going on, and you're trying to watch a ball game, and rightly so. I mean, we feel a responsibility as broadcasters to get that word out with inclement weather, and at the same time keeping everybody safe, and that includes employees of TV stations and radio stations and things like that. So we do have a responsibility for that. And you were intermittently interrupted by the Brewers. In fact, one of the stations down in Racine, which is a Brewers radio network affiliate, it's too bad. They were into their weather coverage. You couldn't have planned it any better. During the 2-run rally in the 8th inning, then they rejoined when Uribe was coming on for the save.
Yeah, of course.
That's too bad. That's too bad for those folks in that audience. We'll get you caught up on our game recap, but the losing streak is over. And now you turn around and you have a shot to win this series with a victory tomorrow. Chad Patrick was amazing tonight. You guys know I've been a huge fan of Chad Patrick. And, I mean, here's a guy that Matt Arnold got for Abraham Toro.
Yeah.
Okay, it might as well have been Andrew Monasterio. It might as well have been David Hamilton.
Whoa.
It might as well have been Anthony Siegler.
Okay.
It might as well have been Greg Jones.
Oh, come
It
on.
might as well have been Blake Perkins.
Hey.
It might as well have been.
You speak up for the fans, but none of the guys on the team. Just throw some dudes who aren't on the team. It was for Logan Schaefer. Yeah, I got it.
Yes, but again, and he was minor league pitcher of the year. That might have been Stearns though involved in that trade? Was that Stearns?
I
want to say that was 23. Let's check that out. I want to verify that before I give Matt Arnold all the credit. This way, it might have been a Stearns thing.
November of 23.
And that when it was?
Yeah.
Okay, that's when David Stearns was collecting his final paycheck to do nothing in Milwaukee. Remember that? They put him in an advisory role.
Sure, yeah.
Instead of just cutting him loose for a year. And then the Mets had to wait a year before they fired their GM.
Well, we got a bunch more to get to, Tim. We got to get to a break here, all right?
Okay, we'll take a break here. Welcome in our network affiliates. And we'll come back, get into our game recap. A huge victory tonight. A lot to get to. Plenty of time for you. We got an hour and a half conversation about Brewers baseball coming at you. Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show here all along the network. A Brewers 2-1 win.
is over. Welcome to the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. Bet above the rest. Only at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Milwaukee. After the last pitch, you've made the switch for 21 seasons. We'll hear from the manager, the players, and the highlights from the game. It's time to talk about the game and the team with Tim Allen and Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
It is a final from American Family Field, and the results are finally good. A 2-1 Brewers victory to take Game 2 of this 3-game series and welcome in all across the state of Wisconsin. It is the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. There's Tommy Wortz, Tim Allen in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Okay, we'll get to the game and everything surrounding the Brewers' situation here, but getting some reports in here, Tommy, about some weather in and around American Family Field where, I haven't confirmed this from anybody, but apparently they're not letting people leave the stadium due to flooding.
Yeah, there is flooding outside of American Family Field. That being reported on I-94 American Family Field following tonight's Brewers game. The National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning in effect over at American Family Field. Significant flooding around. If you are leaving the game, please be careful. We got something coming in on the text line here, 414-677-1250. If you want to join the post-game show, the roads at AMF are flooded. No one can leave right now coming from the 262. As I said, we'll keep updating as we see anything that comes along here. But right now, looks like the rain really getting to American Family Field. It's going to be a tough leave if you're leaving the stadium right now.
Yeah, rain coming down pretty heavy in not only Milwaukee, but south into Racine and Kenosha. Really, really coming down. So there's going to be some water damage and fallout when this thing is done. But yeah, if you happen to throw us on your cell phone here and you happen to be at American Family Field, you can check in with us at 414-677-1250. That's 414-677-1250 on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line.
There was some rain getting in through the stadium as well, I saw at the game today, Tim. It was coming down pretty good, and there's a lot going on over at American Family Field. A lot of wet floor signs you can see, just puddles of water coming in the stadium. No different on the outside. If you're just joining us, significant flooding around American Family Field. Now,
wasn't it 2008?
Well, if you remember last August, Tim, during State Fair Week, it was the same story. It was a whole bunch of flooding around the field. Same exact type of thing.
Yes, and in 08, it was pretty devastating back in 08 as well. And people are still, going through some insurance ramifications with some flood damage, as Tommy said last year. And so, hey, this is weather in the Midwest. It can get volatile at times. And yeah, Racine, Kenosha, Milwaukee, all this line of thunderstorms just moving through now. There was some warnings and in terms of tornadic activity both last night and tonight. We'll do our best to keep you posted. If you happen to get the emergency alert system tags and sounders and information, we'll have that for you too, wherever that is applied here as this line of thunderstorms moves through. Okay, we'll keep you posted. But
Tim, I want to get over to a couple of callers here that are leaving American Family Field in case they got anything to provide right down there. First up, let's go over to Luis. Our buddy Luis is leaving American Family Field from the Potawatomi Sportsbook, that is, Luis. How we doing, Luis?
That win was great, but people just be careful getting out of there. I'm like that bridge there at General Mitchell is basically underwater, so nobody can really get onto there. You're having to get on the highway. The highway's a disaster. Just be careful, be safe. There's a lot of flooding, and even part of 94. If you're going westbound and you're trying to hook over towards Fond du Lac, some of that highway there's a ton of water. So just be careful heading out there. I know we're all happy after this Brewer win, but this rain is no joke. The water that's collecting is no joke. And, even I was lucky enough to kind of get out and start taking back roads here through West Dallas to try to get home. But what's normally maybe a 10-minute ride for me from the ballpark home is going to end up being maybe a half hour, 40 minutes easily. So yeah, just take your time. And, there's a lot of just water that's collected.
Were they cautioning fans toward the end of the game there before the game ended or as the game ended?
No, not really. It was kind of just business as usual, right? You left and it was rain, so everybody was kind of just hustling to their car. And then, the way I went, I noticed that, that normally that you go up General Mitchell Boulevard there, kind of up towards all the bars, Kelly's Bleachers and that was completely blocked off because it was just underwater. So they were sending everybody to 94, which, as you guys know, it's already a disaster in itself. So even though it was a small crowd today, it's still a lot of volume that they're trying to put on the highway. And, like I said, that exit at 84th Street, if don't get in that far right lane is what I'll tell you, because it's underwater. I made the mistake of getting too close, and it's a great way to kind of be really surprised because, with how dark it is, you won't see how much water and you could, really mess your car up.
I might recommend at the same time, Luis, that, if I were at the stadium, I mean, you may have made the bolt and got out of there, but I would just wait this thing out a little bit.
Or go right up Canal Street. Potawatomi is a safe place to be right now.
It's nice and
now
warm and
Think
dry.
this is a free ad going on right here.
The Sportsbook is warm. The Sportsbook is warm. The slots are hot. Our parking structure is covered. You can just go right through the skywalk into the casino. Just wait it out. Hey, maybe go get a hotel room for the night if it's that bad.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, and I can recommend the hotel room. Class. It's class. I've always loved being at a casino, in this case, Potawatomi Sportsbook, when it's like this, there's some sort of serenity that you feel when you're in there because there's some inclement weather outside, or it's snowing, or it's freezing cold. It is cool, man. I'm telling you, Potawatomi Sportsbook, fine sponsor of ours. And Luis, thanks for the update, man. We appreciate it. And what a Brewers win, huh?
Great win, great comeback win. Rogers really gave it back to us there. Credit to the bats for staying patient in the 8th inning, right? It was that old school Brewer, just a chopper and an error and, 2 on before you know it. And then you're hoping for the big inning and it's like, well, I'll take 2 runs and let's get to a rebound. I'll tell you one thing. I love McGill. I'm not going to boo him. I know Murphy was upset about people booing him, and rightfully so. But Abner Uribe's entrance, I'm telling you, they cut the lights off. There's phones flashing. There's some pyro. Look, I love you, McGill, but good luck getting your job back because there's a lot of aura that
no
comes
doubt.
with Abner Uribe's entrance now.
No doubt, Luis. That's we were talking before we got on the network here on the local station that Uribe's now your closer. I'm pretty convinced of that, aren't you? Aren't you, Tommy, Luis? We're pretty convinced 100%. Of that, aren't we?
Probably.
It's his job. And I personally thought it was going to be his job coming into the season. So I was a little surprised I went right back to McGill. But, Uribe, he was putting up 90. His first pitch was 99. And not that McGill can't get it up there, but Uribe's got such good command of everything right now. It's hard to not roll with him going forward.
Luis, the man from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Indeed. By the way, they do have the shuttles there back and forth on the weekends, right?
Every day, Timmy, every day.
Oh, it's every day. Okay, every day.
Every game.
You make a that same day wager, or you make a purchase and you get the free shuttle back and forth.
Exactly.
And you don't have to worry about driving.
Nice warm shuttle.
Luis, thanks a lot, man. We'll be in touch.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Go Brewers.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy, what do you have?
Yeah, I want to get a couple of things out here. I want to get to one more caller before we get out. But as reported now here, Miller Parkway 175 at National Freeway entrances being closed. People are stuck in floodwaters. People are now trapped officially over there too. Carrie and Tosa saying, son and I are sitting in the lot at American Family. Come save us. But hey, we're just happy we got the W right now. Another text coming from the 414. I-43 southbound closed before the Holt Avenue exit. A lot of people commenting in here on Canal Street being the way out, but it is only one lane. A couple of texts coming from the 262 in regards to that. So just trying to get a couple people notified. And if you are leaving the game, the best ways to go about it. One more caller from American Family Field, Kurt over at American Family Field. How's it going over there, Kurt?
Well, it's not great. I always wanted to be talking to you, Tim, and I should have not done it on this circumstance, but I'll call when their circumstances are better.
Sure thing. Thank you, Kurt.
They kind of turned us around. I usually go out canal toward Potawatomi and then north to Fort Washington, and they were turning us around, and I could see why. There was a big pool of water that maybe only big vehicles could get through, and I'm not in a big one. So we're sort of inching north here. I see the Miller Brewery to my right. So we are getting out. Traffic is moving, but definitely not the way you'd usually go to get home.
Is the rain still coming down at you?
But it's not terrible. I think the worst of it has already done its job, and now we're just sort of inching our way out. I just heard your report about people being trapped somewhere. I hate to hear that, but from where I am, just a little bit north of the ballpark now, approaching the Miller Brewery, we're slowly moving and we're getting away.
Well, Kurt, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the comment, and I will say this as a longtime broadcaster, I do feel a responsibility to get as much word out there as I can. I'm clearly not at American Family Field. I can't do the Johnny on the spot reporting, but I can facilitate calls like you that can give that information.
Well, Tim, you're so good at what you do, and like I say, I'd love to meet you. And I go to Las Vegas a lot. Maybe we could sit there and have a drink and talk about the Milwaukee Brewers.
Deal. Let's do it. I'll be there June 8th when the Brewers are in Vegas.
Hey, I will too. I just got my ticket for the game on the 10th. Are you staying a couple days?
I am staying a few days. You bet. Let's have a cocktail. Listen, Tommy, can you put him on hold and let me get his number?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I got you.
I'll get your number, Kurt, and I'll drop you a text.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
All right, you got it. A 2-1 win to even up the series. That's cool. But anything else going on that you need to get the word out on this flooding around American Family Field? Again, Tommy, we feel a responsibility to get that word out there if it's going to help, maneuver people and get them out of there safe. But we'll get to the game. We'll get to our game recap. How about Chad Patrick tonight? How about booing your favorite team? Is that possible for you? We'll talk more after the break. Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. Tim Allen, Tommy Wortz, live here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Well, Brewers fans, how does it feel? That losing streak is done. Thank goodness. Wow. And did you think they'd win the game? It was 1-0, then it was 1-0. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. It's 1-0. Keep going. Can we get another 1-0? We got a 1-0. We got a 1-0 in the 6th. We got a 1-0 in the 7th. We got a 1-0 in the 8th. Oh, no. We have a 2-1, and we have a victory, snapping a 6-game losing streak. Let me squeeze in Joe here on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line. The rest of you, we see you there, and we'll get to you after the next break, and we'll do some rapid fire. But, Joe, you're next here on the Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show. What's going on?
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
I was at the game tonight, and I also went last night, and tonight was definitely a lot better. I'll say that. I'm at home right now. I must have left at the right time. I left right at the end of the 7th inning, so I got out there before the floods. But walking out of the stadium, I felt like I should have been wearing my fly fishing gear. That's for sure. I was like walking through a river.
Yeah. I mean, just wow. So you're one of those that leaves early.
I'm not always the Zabe theory, always leave early, the Ale theory. But tonight I was with a buddy who isn't as big of a Brewers fan as myself, and I was just happy he came out to the game and had some drinks with me, and he was also the ride. So I'm happy we're not sitting in the AmFam parking lot right now in floods, and I'm at home right now talking to you guys. But
yeah, some are. We're trying to help them out. Real quick, Joe, we're going to get into this next hour. We still have a whole hour to deal with this. But you think it's okay for Brewer fans to boo when they're disappointed with either a player or the team?
That's funny. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. That's what I want to talk about. I'm a little ashamed or embarrassed of myself after watching that interview with of Murphy yesterday talking about Miguel, because I gave him some boos, and I think it's just because I'm so passionate about the game. Matter of fact, I still have a couple bloody knuckles from punching the seat in front of me after he walked the first batter. After he went 2-0 in that first count, I was so frustrated because I think he went knuckle curve and then fastball and 2-0, and it's like that when he can't put that knuckle curve in the strike zone, or if he at least can't get swing and miss, and he's a 2-pitch pitcher, that's when Miguel's having problems. And I got so frustrated with him, and I think it's unacceptable to walk batters as a closer, especially with a 1-run lead. But with all he's done for us in the past, I am a little ashamed to boo him. But
that was only after you heard how Murphy laid it out there, right?
Yeah, I would say that was, and I watched the interview last night or whatever. I even watched I was listening to the radio station with Crosby and Tommy today, and I'm not going to agree with Crosby. Crosby's a little soft about how he feels about sports, but I don't want to be the fan that boos the Brewers, because I'm such a diehard Brewers fan. I'm the same guy. When Miguel closes out, when he's dropping the knuckle curve and getting guys to swing and miss and look like fools, I'm the same guy that's defending them, all night long. But
a lot of different angles on this. There are plenty of angles on this. Joe, thanks for the insight.
Last thing I want to say is I came home tonight and my sub pump's working like Aaron Ashby, and I got water in the basement, but I'm going to sleep better tonight with water in the basement than I did last night after Brewers lost. Let's go, baby. I'm going to take a big hit from the Vaughn. Good night.
Oh, my gosh. Okay. All right. Celebratory.
Some pump working like Aaron Ashby that's contender for line of the week.
Is he 4-0 now?
He leads Major League Baseball in wins.
He's 4-0.
4-0. Wow. Yep.
He is. Hey, man, he's
a horse.
He's dynamite.
He's an absolute horse.
Yep.
They're like, why replace Nick Mears? We could just put it on Aaron Ashby's table.
Chad Patrick cruising 81 pitches. He's got 2 outs in the 7th inning, and DL Hall enters the game. Who was nervous? Were you nervous?
I am old school. I don't think I was nervous. I think I'm old school. I'm like, you got to let Chad. If you're going to take him out, it's because he gave up a base runner, right? Okay, hey, next base runner, he's out. Well, then they let him pitch to the next guy, and then they wanted the lefty-lefty matchup to Jimenez, who has been as hot as a pistol in this series. Again, it feels like he ends up getting a hit anyway. Doesn't matter. And now they're in the same situation. A ball goes right next to the wall at the track. They got out of it and it worked out, but I would have let Patrick go. That's how I know that's not baseball anymore. I just would have let if Patrick throws 7 tonight, that's a huge number for that guy.
DL Hall, if he gives up a
2-run homer there,
oh man, we have an entirely different show tonight,
dude. Yeah, I would have been livid for him.
If you're on hold, sit tight. We'll get to you. Brewers get the win 2-1. Chad Patrick was outstanding, all told. Ashby and Uribe with that one-run save. 2-1 final. They even up the series at a game apiece. Let's not overlook that. They have a chance to win the series despite losing 6. That was snapped, and now you move forward. There's Tommy Wortz, Tim Allen, Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show, talking Brewers baseball after this victory and talking weather and flooding and a lot more coming up here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
fans, the game is over. Welcome to the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. Bet above the rest. Only at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, Milwaukee. After the last pitch, you've made the switch for 21 seasons. We'll hear from the manager, the players, and the highlights from the game. It's time to talk about the game and the team with Tim Allen and Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
The Brewers get the victory tonight, 2-1 the final, and they snap that 6-game losing streak. Whew. I feel better. Welcome in, everybody. Got an hour of this. Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show, live here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Tim Allen, Tommy Wortz. Tommy, I was listening to your pregame show, the leadoff show.
Yeah.
And I was getting some details on this Brewers offense. And I was thinking about that. You know, these guys are skidding a little bit toward the bottom of the lineup, and that includes, Sal Frelick, Joey Ortiz, and some of these guys, Renhefo.
Well, the keys to the game today actually were really highlighted on 8, 9, and 1 in the lineup, which coming into the last 6, in that 6-game losing streak, it was a combined 2 for 36 out of Joey Ortiz, David Hamilton, and Sal Frelick. Right. And then, lo and behold, Joey Ortiz picks up a hit today. David Hamilton's infield single is the tying run that comes across, and Sal busts down the line on an infield error, but kind of hit, not really, and ends up being the difference maker in the game. So they came up big when they needed to.
They did, and Chad Patrick on the mound, 6 2/3 of 1-run ball, and wouldn't you know it, you get the offense that put up runs the last couple of games, and the bullpen lets you down a little bit.
Right.
Then you get the starting pitcher that gives up a few, and the offense can't get anything. Then we're thinking 1-zip. No way you're going to lose 1-zip in this one. I felt like they were going to win this. I felt it in my bones late in this ball game. They were going to win the game. It was the 8th inning. We'll hear this highlight from Brewers TV. It was the 8th inning. Chad Patrick left in the 7th. DL Hall, then Aaron Ashby kept it right there at 1-zip. You get the leadoff infield single, Woodpecker away here. Then you get Sal Frelick, who does, I don't know what he did. He did a delayed stop on the baseball. and he reaches on air, table set, 2 on, nobody out in a 1-zip game, bottom of the 8th for William Contreras.
They stay put. Contreras right side, and it's through. Hamilton around to score. Death by paper cuts. The Brewers are finally on the board. And a seeing-eye single by William Contreras.
Death by paper cuts is pretty awesome. Yes, that's exactly what it felt like.
It did, and so you got to get that run in. You got to take the lead right there. You're thinking, oh boy, 1-1 in a tie game. Would it have been Jake Woodford in the 9th inning as opposed to a 1-run lead? I think so. I think it would have been Woodford.
Well, luckily our guy Bryce Terang coming through, getting the job done.
Chopper over the head of Rogers. Here comes Frelick. Throw to first in time. Sal scores. Terang drives him in on another little number.
Yeah, he started, then stopped, thinking that they were going to be able to get it. Went over his head, and he's able to continue on and score.
One of these days, man, they're going to barrel baseballs all over the yard.
Well, and that extends. He had an on-base streak coming into today, Bryce Terang, up to 15 games now. As long as he can keep staying steady and getting jobs done, they're going to be in a good spot, too.
And a 3-hitter now for Pat Murphy. All right, and then Uribe locked down the save, and the Brewers get the win 9-8 now, and the losing streak is over. They have a chance to win this series with a victory tomorrow.
Can we listen to the final call? We haven't heard one in a long time.
This is the win.
Hard hit ball, left field, Lockridge, right there. Ball game, and the losing streak is over.
23,000 in attendance today, Tim. They made it loud at the end to let them know that, hey, we're not just going to boo you whenever things are going wrong. We're going to encourage when things are going well as well.
And we'll get to that boo conversation here. We'll hear from Pat Murphy last night and then again this afternoon with his briefings. But want to get to your calls. Nicolay Law Talk and text line 414-677-1250. And if you got any traffic information to give to us at American Family Field, we'll certainly take that as well. Cousin Tim down in Racine. Is this your first call of the year?
Caledonia, Tim. Caledonia.
Oh, sorry. Caledonia.
It's not my first call here. It's probably like my third call, second, third.
Okay.
That was my third. Yeah, it's my third call. But no,
what's
you can
going
boo
on?
McGill. You can boo McGill. And
Yeah.
I got a question, and I know this isn't going to probably fly real well, to some people. Okay, McGill, why can't he be a pitcher and have Mizorowski be the closer? I swear to God.
No.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. You were just going to say no.
Have you been
And
seeing
no,
what Mizorowski's been doing this
know.
year?
I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just hear me out on this one. What if we had 3 really great starting pitchers, and then that we could do that?
Yeah, we're used to that. Woody Burns and Peralta.
Yeah, well, if we had that, wouldn't that be kind of neat?
Speaking of starting pitching, I know you had this on the leadoff show, Tommy. Kyle Harrison pushed back a little bit due to the fine defensive playing of Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, it wasn't because he hurt his knee when he threw it and whipped at his knee. It was because he fell on his wrist after he hit him in the knee instead.
Yes.
But yeah, it's pushed back right now. No IL stint or anything to
That's
announce
good.
yet for Kyle Harrison, but they're going to be cautious with him at the beginning of the year as well.
So Tim, okay, get to this boo thing. You think it's okay to boo at American Family Field?
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as you're not cussing.
Okay.
I mean, you go there, you pay your money.
Good point.
I'm just saying, just be respectful about it.
Yeah, and I said that to Tim already, cousin Tim. Like, I feel like booing is the most cordial way to voice displeasure.
Yeah, I mean, you pay your money to get in the door, and then that's why I say with McGill, it's like, wow, 16s. Basically, we would probably have 3 or 4 more wins if it weren't for him. It really is.
3 or 4
I'm sorry.
more wins because of who?
McGill.
Oh, well, maybe,
At least 3.
maybe
Yeah,
2.
Probably 3. I think 3.
I'm going to say 2.
Well, I'm going to say 3. You can say 2, but that's fine. But
All right.
I'm just saying it's. I don't know. I'm glad that what did you say that guy's name was again? That hit the home run just before.
Who?
Without him and Terang and Contreras, where would this team be right now?
That's right. All right, Tim, we got to move. I want to play this stuff from Pat Murphy as well, and just get a little bit more into this. Thank you, Timmy. Cousin Tim,
thank you.
From Caledonia. I don't know if I remember talking to him this year.
I don't know if we have, but we got him there.
I don't think we have. All right, so I wanted to bring this up as well, Tommy. In radio, we have these things that you play. We call it imaging, and it's a lot of stations will put together these things that go whoosh, B105, playing all the hits, and stingers and whizzers and zappers and buzzers and all these things. Tommy, you have a piece of imaging on your leadoff show that has a drop of Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
Now, I should have written down what part that was.
So
but he alludes to that.
It is the eye on the enemy portion of it.
Can we play that? Because listen to Craig Counsell in here when it comes to fans responding or cheering or how he put it.
I got you right here. Here it is.
Check this out.
Nobody likes them.
Craig Counsell returning to American Family Field.
We all want to see them lose.
It's not my job to tell people how to feel about something or even to figure it out. Let people feel how they want to feel. I mean, I'm good with that.
Okay. See, right there. That I agree with.
Whoa, you're saying that about Counsell right now, Tim?
I personally think Craig Counsell is a really good manager, still to this day. But, again, a lot of people dislike his decisions and all that. But I'm just saying, he's the winningest manager in Brewers history. He had to have been doing something right, and he did do a lot right. But what he said right there, he's not one to tell people how they're supposed to feel. It's a little bit different than the way Murph put it. Don't you think, Tommy, the way Murphy spelled it out both last night and tonight?
Well, let's compare it right here, because this one is from yesterday in the post game after Trevor McGill was booed.
Fans booing him after he saved 30 games for this team, a kid that's been through all that he's been through and what he did the year before for us to help us win the division, and then what he did last year, and then came out with an arm injury and still pitched and pitched one of the biggest innings of the game 5. And for them to be booing him up there, that's just not our best fans, that's for sure. We have the great fans, but let's remind them of that. Are they okay to be disappointed? But sometimes young men go through tough stuff. I was disappointed in that those people wouldn't support him when he's going through that stuff. Does he probably care? No. Is it expected? That's fine. But let's not be, these aren't machines out there. These are people. I thought that was in poor taste, but I've done things in poor taste too.
So in poor taste to boo when you're disappointed. See, Pat Murphy has a platform that when he's disappointed, he can just simply say, I'm disappointed. We have a platform as fans. How do we display or express our disappointment at a ball game?
We boo.
That's kind of what they do. That's what we do.
We
don't sit there and shake our head and say, I'm really disappointed. Or the worst they can get is drats.
Yeah, and Pat Murphy, drats. Okay, all right. Back to the '82 team on that one. I got it. And then he kind of doubled down on it in pregame today, Tim. This was a short little 30 seconds from it. With the preface was, McCalvey was asking questions on, do you still feel the same way? Yeah, you were a great topic for radio all day today. And this was near the tail end of it.
We've got a ton of excuses if we want them, but we're trying to not emphasize that. But you've seen who we've got injured, and then when the back of the pen isn't doing the job, yeah. In a position, the fans are like jumping on when we're in this state. Like, stop. That's not who you are. That's not the fans that the players just love and tell people this is the greatest place to play because of this.
All right,
now,
again.
He has some good points, though. I'll give him that, Tommy. He's putting up a good, he's putting up a good case, if you will. We ought to get him into Judge Jamo's courtroom here.
Well, I think that majority, the Brewer fan is more informed today, as is every other fan, than they have ever been in the history of sports.
Agreed.
Right? Like, the fan can get all this information. They choose to come and, where they get their information from, and they can develop whatever they want from there. I understand from Pat Murphy's Pat Murphy's perspective, he's going for his guy. He's defending his guy, McGill. Absolutely. People understand how important Trevor McGill has been in his Brewers tenure. I promise you, the next time Trevor McGill comes out and puts up a 1-2-3 inning, it will be the biggest pop he hears in Milwaukee since Game 5 against the Chicago Cubs. Trevor McGill has thrown 44 straight fastballs without a swing and a miss right now. This is not like this Trevor McGill. He isn't worthy of cheers right now either. I'm just saying, and that's in my defense of, if you want to boo, you can boo. Maybe I wouldn't boo if I was at a game. Maybe I would boo if I'm at a game. But it's your choice to do what you want with that.
So I don't know if this is a great analogy or not, but if you recall last year in San Francisco, Pat Murphy was disappointed in a couple of players, and he removed them from the lineup. He benched them, Caleb Durbin, and I think it was Sal Freely.
Well, yesterday, Luis Matos.
Matos yesterday.
Yes, you're going to pimp singles, then you're going to have to walk back over to the Pine, man.
But everything they've done for you prior to that, see, that's the thing. The other thing to think about, and that's why I'm saying there's so many angles to this, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer to it. Now, fans, we can be emotional. I'm a walking head case when it comes to Brewers baseball.
Yeah, don't watch a game with Tim Allen if you can't handle emotion during it.
I was watching one the other day. The girlfriend said, I can't do this. I cannot do this with you. I'm serious.
I believe you.
No, it was the game in which it was early in the game with the Gary Sanchez defensive play.
Oh, yeah. It was Kyle Harrison injury day.
Where I yelled out loud in the living room, "This is your fault, Murphy." Because Bowers wasn't playing there.
Yeah.
And Yelich wasn't out in left field. And Sanchez wasn't the DH.
Mm-hmm.
We can be emotional, but how do we express ourselves that way? This is the way fans do it. And here's the kicker. I think Murph needs to understand this. It doesn't mean we love the team any less that they were booing or we were booing Trevor McGill. It doesn't mean since McGill blew this save, it means now we love the Brewers less than we did 10 minutes ago. That has nothing to do. We still love them the same way we love them.
You're actually probably booing because you love them.
You're disappointed. That's all. You're just disappointed and not in McGill. Now, again, I think there's some people that were booing specifically McGill. That's fine. But I think most, I don't know this and we'll never know this, I believe most were booing the situation that the Brewers were in. Murph, you lost 6 in a row. And you had a 2-run lead heading in that inning. We thought it was a win. Losing streak over at 5. And then we're not supposed to react like that. I don't know, man. I received a couple of calls years ago, Tommy, and some emails and some texts that said, when Craig Counsell returns to American Family Field, be better and not boo him. Now, I remember having a big conversation about that many times. What are you going to do when Craig Counsell comes back, when his name is announced? What are you going to do when he goes to the mound to make a pitching change? What are you going to do? You can't tell people how to control their emotions. You just can't do it. But again, the bottom line is we don't love McGill any less. I mean, how many examples can we cite where someone, how do you think, I'm just throwing this out there. I didn't plan on saying this at all. It's not in my notes, if you will. How do you think Eagles fans felt when Nick Foles won a Super Bowl and then wasn't he the Super Bowl MVP?
Yep.
And then sucked after that. They weren't supposed to boo him at all or be disappointed in him at all based solely on what happened in the past. No, they're just disappointed in the situation. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
I completely understand. I want to get one more caller in real quick. 414-677-1250, the Nicolay Law Talk and text line. A couple of texts coming in too. Just wanted to go. Young Doug tuning in, saying hi. He's texting in from the 312. Jake Woodford Reserve. That's a new one there. I had to read that one for Tim. I knew Tim would go there. From the 920, I would never boo my Brewers. I lived through the 90s and cheered them on every day and recorded the highlights with Pat, Jim, and Bob during that time.
Wow.
And then from the 414, I want to boo Pat Murphy just for making that comment, also being put up there.
I respect someone and you know, in some regards, I just think you're more in control of your emotions than I am, and that's fine.
Oh, totally get it. Let's go to Marshall out in Whitefish Bay. Been waiting a while here, Marshall. Sorry about that. How we doing today, Marshall?
Well, guys, good evening. I was at a church function in West Dallas tonight, and went by the stadium on the way home, I guess about 8:30, and it was raining pretty hard. I can just tell you that. I'm not surprised at the flooding problems there. We just hope everybody gets out okay, of course. So doing fine here at home. It's still raining here in Whitefish Bay. We're not as hard, but it's still coming down pretty good though. It is what it is, but a great win tonight, guys. You know, and I thought you were asking about 1-0, and I tuned in about that time when the game got good, and I thought when I heard 9-1-2 coming up, I thought we have got a chance. We got the right people coming up, and I had a hunch that they were going to come through tonight. It was too bad about last night, but you know, the booing guys. It's as long as you do it respectively, you know, it's going to happen. I mean, we all get emotional at times as fans. Look, as rich a history as my beloved UNC basketball program has been over 50 years of watching that thing, guys, in person down there and from afar. We went through an 8-20 season back in 2002, and it was very easy. Even Tar Heel fans were booing the heck, you know, Gentile, North Carolina here, were booing the heck out of that team at times. And we saw what happened after that. It brought Roy Williams in, and the rest was history. But I think if you do it respectably, and I think Brewer fans are pretty knowledgeable. I think we understand a lot of things about the game, and we're going through a tough slump until tonight with our bullpen. And I think Uribe is the guy now. I definitely agree.
Yeah.
But we got to get the bullpen straight, guys, and I think we will. I think that's on its way. But, man, we got to get healthy here. I just hope that we don't get like the Packers were earlier this year, a spate of injuries. I'm frankly more concerned about that right now than the bullpen. We'll get that. We're going to get it straight. We're going to get things right here. And, gosh, let's hope that the good Lord gets rid of this rain for us pretty soon here. We need the weather here. But a good win tonight. Let's go win that series tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a big game. Thank you, Marshall.
Thank you.
Those of you that don't think that fans should boo at American Family Field, I totally respect that. I totally do. That just means you're more in control of your emotions than I am. But if you think about how we're supposed to react, Tommy, in a big situation, 2 on, nobody out, first guy is a pop-up. Okay, come on now. Get it in play. A little base hitting out. Nope. The second guy strikes out. Then the third guy, now you're relying on a 2-out hit, and he swings and misses. Even if there's not boos, you can hear it in the crowd, the just collective, oh.
Yep.
Okay, we're not supposed to do that either. I mean, you just react. That's all. You're just reacting. You're disappointed in the situation. That's all.
I'm booing Manny Machado every time he comes to Milwaukee. I'm sorry. I mean, that's just going to happen.
But you're not going to. Okay, but just you shouldn't boo because he's one hell of a baseball player.
Right.
And you can't do that to him.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not rooting for Manny Machado to get injured, but I'm not rooting for his success.
Definitely not.
So if I'm going to boo the other team, I should probably be able to boo the Brewers if that's going to happen too.
And we applaud this Brewer team in this game for not giving in, not giving up, staying with it. It wasn't 10-zip. It was 1-zip.
Mm-hmm.
And they got it done, man. I love this game. I did love this game. Patrick, the Bulldog, keeping them in the game. These guys grinding out there. They did grind out a 2-1 win. We're going to hear from Pat Murphy after the break here. If you want to jump in on the Nicolay Law Talk and Text line, 414-677-1250. There's Tommy Wortz, Tim Allen. A rain-soaked 2-1 win, Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios.
Who gave the crew some breathing room? What play was it? It's time for the insurance run of the game. Brought to you by G2 Insurance, your friend in insurance. On the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
Well, you got to feel a lot better after this game tonight. A 2-1 Brewers victory to take game 2 of this 3-game set. We'll hear from Pat Murphy and squeeze a call in here as well, as we're starting to run out of time here a little bit. Tommy, it was a 1-1 game, and you needed to score, number one. Number two, you needed some insurance. G2 Insurance, your friend in insurance.
Yeah, why not? Why get insurance when you can have insurance and the game-winning run at the same time, Bryce Terang?
Chopper over the head of Rogers. Here comes Frelick. Throw to first in time. Sal scores. Terang drives him in on another little number.
Yeah, he started, then stopped, thinking that they were going to be able to get it. Went over his head, and he's able to continue on and score.
Yeah, in sports, you want a teammate who's been there before. In Wisconsin, that teammate is G2 Insurance Services. They aren't just an agency. They're your friend in insurance. Whether you're a business owner needing a specialized BOP or a homeowner protecting your family, G2 builds relationships on honesty and value, from auto and home to complex commercial coverage. Tom and the team at G2 have been in the neighborhood pros since 2004. Don't get caught without a game plan. Call G2 Insurance Services today, 262-784-0644, or visit g2ins.com.
Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Tommy Wortz, Tim Allen. Get to Murph here in just a little bit. I think he's going to be pleased with the Brewers hanging in there. But let's go to Brian, our buddy Brian in Valders. We'll get you in here before we hear from Murph.
You know, Tim, you're giving that guy down south a little bit too much credit.
Okay.
You know, and you're not gonna you're gonna think that I'm really giving you a line here when I tell you that I have not booed. I'm not a booer. And there's only one guy that I can think of that I boo, and you know who that is.
Yep.
And he's the guy because he's the one that dissed us. Trevor McGill hasn't dissed us at all. You know, he's I feel for that kid, I really do. You know, and I think he's going through some things, and quite honestly, you know, when a player doesn't do well, I mean, I think the fan and everybody would like to just start booing him. I get more on the disappointed side than anything, you know, and just, you know, just like, how can that happen? And why is he doing this? But like, to Murph's credit, you know, they all are human. Yeah, they get paid a lot of money, and we want a lot out of them. But I'm not a booer, you know, and granted, what Trevor's going through right now is tough. And right now, you know, his velocity is down. I think Tommy said it, you know, during the day today. You know, there've been a lot of questions about Trevor's ability right now, you know, and where his stuff is, you know. And when I look at it, it's really up to Murph and Hookie to really realize that, hey, he probably isn't the closer for us right now because of the lack of his velocity and whatever. You know, it really falls on them, and there's a lot of pressure on us right now. I'll tell you, you got a third of our lineup out on the bench right now. And I worry about us being able to tread water for the next month. I really do.
That's why a win like this, Brian, it's absolutely huge. I mean, every single win you get right now is a monstrous victory because of what you just said. Because of what you just said. To tread water until they get reinforcements back. They're going to be a better baseball team when Churio's back, when Vaughn is back, when Yelich is back. When everyone gets healthier, it not only brings those guys who are all really good baseball players into the fold here, but it also puts other guys back where they should be in their roles as well. So you have a kind of a double thing going on here. But you know, on the booing side of things, now I've gotten a lot of calls earlier today and texts about what Murph said. And if this is to protect a guy making $7 million a year and protect his feelings, now again, this is from one of my buddies that said, all they want is the adulation and the cheering, but they don't want to deal with the disappointment in the fans, response to them. I guess that's an angle too. That's a perspective too.
It is an angle, but then again, the way pro athletes get paid, it's funny money. We all know that, and granted, the players know it, and yet it comes with a lot of responsibility. It does, and I just look at it from my standpoint that they're not going out there to do bad. They're not going out there and trying to stink up the joint. They're not, and Trevor McGill showed me a lot in the playoffs as to how he felt about Milwaukee and everything else. And I'm not going to diss the guy, but in the same token, he's got some issues going on right now. We need to we need to figure him out. And I just look at it. You said the monstrous game. Yes, it was a monstrous game, and everyone is. But I just worry about this team for the next month, because like tomorrow we face a left. We face a lefty tomorrow, Tim. What do we have for right-handed bats tomorrow? Really, what do we have?
I agree. So just leave Bowers and Mitchell alone. Just leave them in there.
Well, I know that, but you're asking these guys to face a tough lefty when we're basically, it's hard to hit lefties and lefties. But yeah, I agree. Leave Bowers and Mitchell in there, but again, we're not at full strength, and we're not going to be for a long time. And I hope we can tread water, and every game we win is just big, very big.
All right, Brian, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for the input. Here's a news and note for you, Tommy. Former Brewers left-hander, speaking of which, Chris Capuano.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
Is now head of the MLBPA.
Yeah, they had to fire 2 more people. Yeah, they're doing a bang-up job.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't Capuano an Ivy Leaguer?
Oh God! You want Tim? You want me to memorize every guy's number, what team he's been to before, and now what college they went to the entire time?
What number was Capuano? 22.
He went to Duke. All right, he wasn't smart enough, I guess, for the Ivy League. That's what it is. Let's get to Pat Murphy.
Let's do it.
The game is over, and it's time to hear from the skipper on the Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show with Tim Allen and Tommy Wortz on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network.
I mean, I don't know that we're out of the funk we're all in. It feels nice to win a ball game and have the guys regain some belief. And hey, they won the game during the game by sticking in there and having at bats. They got Cease out of there. He's one of the top pitchers in the game. I don't know. You don't pay the guy $25 million or whatever they're paying him unless the guy's dominating the game. Well, you get him out of there by battling all game, even if you don't have success. You keep clawing away, you stay relentless and just peck away, and that's what got us to the point where, we got some of the relievers that we saw again, and we didn't hit balls real hard, but we did some really good things. We ran the bases. Contreras came up with a huge hit, but Ashby and Uribe at the end was really, really special. Uribe's tempo and energy leave no doubt that he's healthy, especially after throwing last night.
How about, if you have more, but how about Chad? And
you go ahead and interrupt me. That's fine.
I don't know if you have more or not.
It's my moment.
How about Chad and the way that he threw?
It was great. It was great. I was going to get to that. I'm not a total idiot. Chad was great. He attacked the zone after the first hitter. He attacked the zone and let his stuff work. And they're an aggressive, good hitting team, and they're kicking themselves for being so aggressive and letting them have 10 pitch innings. But yeah, I mean, I thought there was a lot of Ortiz was great on defense, and Hamilton was great on defense. There's little things that happen in the game. Lockridge, two great plays on defense, one incredible play. We just battled. Gary did a nice job behind the plate. Perkins came off the bench, pinch hit. Great swing. Explain what?
Sorry for jumping there. The physics on that Sal ball, it didn't look super wet there. Just how that ball died there.
Yeah. Mr. Danahy tried to teach me physics in junior year of high school. That didn't go well. I don't know. Yeah. Bill Danahy.
Is there a spelling on that?
It was a D. There was an E in it. I think it was more Dennehy maybe, but anyway. Yeah, he taught physics. I wasn't in the class very long. They didn't want me in there, but I wouldn't know. I just know that Sal's a battler, and I believe in him. And you know, he seldom has hit as low as he's hitting now, and has produced as little. But go figure, he's in the middle of it when we needed it most. You got to kind of rely on the character of people. You know what I mean? And these guys showed a lot of character by showing up tonight and hanging in there and playing solid and pecking away and not getting frustrated. You know, Hamilton, you know, it's huge. The way he runs, he uses speed to, you know, put the ball in play.
Why did you try to go with your rebate on this particular night tonight?
Because I knew he could get it done. I was certain Uribe could get it done. I didn't want to put that on Trevor with all he's going through, and stayed up for hours last night trying to correct anything he correct in his delivery or anything he was tipping or whatever. And he was, you know, exhausted today. I looked at him, looked in his eyes, like, this guy's wearing it. He cares, you know. And I knew Uribe would shine through. So it was great performance.
Or did it feel like it's been a while since you guys got some breaks?
A month. It's felt like a month, you know, but truth is that the game's not going to be nice to you. That's not, if we're looking for the game to be good to you, it's not going to be. You know, like players talk about it all the time. You hear them. You know, if you're looking for no pressure, don't come here. If you're looking for a game that's easy, play something else. And that's what makes a team when you see them respond like nights like tonight. We didn't play our best. We didn't swing it great, but we faced great pitching tonight. We faced great pitching. That reliever that just came in, go look at what he's done over the last 10 years. You know, the guy that throws from underneath, Rogers, go look at how good he's been for the last 10 years. The guy's special. And Cease still throwing 98 in the whatever his last inning was.
Yeah, there he is, Pat Murphy, after the Brewers' 2-1 victory. And we'll take a quick break and rewind to April 15th, Jackie Robinson Day. Everyone in 42. I love it. And I will say just real quick here, the African-American percentages in baseball has gone up the last couple of years. Tommy, I don't know if you keep track of this or not, but it has gone up slightly the last couple of years. I want to say it's right around 6.3% of baseball players are African American. You want to know what it was in the 80s? 18%.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
What do we attribute that to? I'm not sure, but to tribute and honor Jackie Robinson for his accolades, not only on the field but off the field, it's one of the coolest things baseball has done. There's no doubt about it. All right, we'll take a break and rewind to April 15th, 1975. Tommy, you'll love this one. We'll do that next. Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. Tim and Tommy here in the the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios. Time for our rewind after a Brewers 2-1 victory to snap the losing streak at 6. Tim Allen, Tommy Wortz, Potawatomi Sportsbook postgame show. Go back to 1975, April 15th.
Yeah, how old were you in 75?
11.
All right. Yeah, you were getting things done back then. Bob Coluccio leading the game
My man, number 26.
Gorman Thomas pinch hit for him in the game at a point.
He wore 3 different numbers, 3, 20, and 44.
Henry Aaron was in the 3 spot. We all remember him. John Briggs.
Johnny Briggs, my man.
Yeah.
Big number 12, I believe.
John Briggs, number 12. You're gross. George Scott was there. Don Money.
My first favorite player of ever.
Daryl Porter behind the
Porter,
dish.
15. George Scott, number 5.
Robin Yount was batting 9th in this game as he was hitting .474 with a 13-18 OPS at this time in the season. The Brewers did win 7-1. It was game 6 on the season in
Who pitched?
1975.
Billy Champion, or who was that? Jim Slayton, maybe?
The starting pitcher was Bill Champion.
Okay. Number 38? No, 39?
Bill Champion was 38 and
okay.
39 for the Brewers team. I mean, that is gross. He changed his number in 1973 to 74.
Oh my God.
So
that is just bad.
That's bad, dude. That is. I would seriously consider seeking help after that. He went 9 innings, complete game, 1-run contest, walked 4, struck out 2, but Billy Champion.
Yeah, George Scott. Going back to those days, and my favorite, he was my first favorite Brewer, George Scott. And I'm thinking back on, Murph said it today about Jackie Robinson Day. He said, ironically, all his favorite players were African American when he was younger. I thought about that after I heard that today, Tommy, and I went, Johnny Briggs was my man. George Scott was I never looked at it as a black dude or a white dude.
Sure. Yeah.
I never, it's just, they're a player.
Well,
I like the player.
You brought it up with, it's one of the coolest things baseball does. It's one of the coolest things sports do. I mean, any league this is
awesome.
Baseball was first to it, to recognize it, to celebrate it, to understand it, to bring awareness, whatever it is, like all the messages are in there on Jackie Robinson, and the least you can do, right? Go ahead, honor them once a year. They retire the number across the league. Like, it's an awesome spectacle that baseball brings on Jackie Robinson Day.
Really is cool. I think the last person to wear 42 in a Brewers uniform may have been Scott Carl. I'm just guessing. I know years ago it was Danny Frisella, rest his soul. Died in Arizona with a dune buggy accident, I think.
Jeez.
Something like that. Yeah, he was number 42 also. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here. We will see you again tomorrow afternoon. Game 3. You got a leadoff show, Tommy?
Leadoff show, 11:30 tomorrow. We'll start it up.
And we'll see you after the game on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Potawatomi Sportsbook post-game show for Tommy Wortz, Tim Allen. Once again, the final 2-1. Losing streak over. And as always, smile, Wisconsin. Bob Uecker is smiling back.